friend. I'm so relieved that my message has finally found you. If no one hears my story, then my curse will never be through. That story is of Hano, and the hero into which he grew. Now, before I tell you about Hano, I must tell you about myself. You would struggle to pronounce my true name, so you may call me Tabi. You should know that I am Hano's greatest companion. I have been many other things in my time. I am a veteran of many wars. I am the appointed poet of a court from a far-off land. I once created a perfume so powerfully pungent that small vials of it sell for piles of gold bigger than a man's head. I have taught myself the language of frogs. But what I am most known for is my honesty. I can only speak the truth. The story I need to tell you is one of my greatest adventures with the famous swordsman Hano. Hano needed me to defend him, and thus relied upon me as his bodyguard. I am an accomplished raconteur, friend, and so I took it upon myself to also be the chronicler of Hano's journeys. Before I begin this tale, I should remind you of a few things. I am unerringly honest, and so I have written down exactly what was said by the people we met, just as I heard them. I am not human, but rather a formidable leonine beast. Thus, many we met were intimidated by my very appearance. Most did not talk to me. In fact, they pretended not to notice me. Do not judge them too harshly, friend. I have seen grown men quail when I merely looked them in the eye. I suppose I should tell you something about Hano. Hano was old, for a boy. I first met him 2 years ago. He had no parents, but he did have a career. He was a ninja for hire. How he lost the parents and found the career he never told me. He wore Fuligan black robes. At night he was so dark a figure that you could often only see his eyes. Those eyes were sapphire blue. He bore 2 razor-sharp swords, named Wakizashi, the shorter, and Katana, the longer. He said that they came from a faraway land. On occasion I had seen him use both swords, one in each hand. He was so fast that he could bisect raindrops. Other than his admitted skill with his blades, I found him quite ordinary, even a little boring, if I'm honest, friend. How he went on to become so famous, I don't understand. He certainly wouldn't have been successful without my help, as you will soon come to see. You might wonder how I have sent this message to you. I paid a wizard. 'Twas the grand cringe-dank Algo of Writhe M who did the spell. Please remember 2 things. First, that my tale is important. And second, that Hano always had the heart of a true hero. My story begins with a job interview in the throne room of the Fairy Queen. She had a problem, and she wanted Hano and I to solve it. So, you are Hano? The Fairy Queen narrowed her eyes at him. He stood stock still. Hano, ma'am. I am grateful that you are so available, Hano. This mission is of the utmost urgency, so I of course requested the help of the highest-ranked ninja in the lands. She was unavailable. So I am grateful that you, the second-best ninja, didn't have anything else to do. She puffed up her nose as she said this. Oh, well, I'm happy to help, my queen. Hano looked down at the Fairy Queen's diamond-studded shoes. I wondered if he had known of his position in these rankings. Yes, I'm sure you are. Here's what you will do. You will enter the Nasta Forest, to the north of this castle. You will find the head of my knights, Sir Tectabanan. You will assist him and see that he returns safely to me. You will know him by his yellow armor and black helmet. Any questions? No. Good. You will also rescue my pig from the Nasta Forest. Have you ever seen a pig before, Hano? I'm afraid not, ma'am, Hano said. I wouldn't have thought that you had, she sighed. A pig is a pink, stupid, hairless creature. 4 legs, fat, a flat circled nose, and a spiral tail. Do you remember all that, Hano? because if you come back to me with a squirrel and claim that it is a pig, I will be displeased, she said darkly. Yes, ma'am, Hano said quietly. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on with it, she shooed him. You haven't, mentioned how much you'll pay me, Hano stuttered, blushing. Oh, for the mercy of the gods, you mercenaries are quite pathetic. Well, if you want to know exactly how much money you are worth, Hano, I shall tell you. You will be paid 12 bronze pieces if you return with Sir Tettibanan in a state fit to perform his duties. You will receive 100 silver pieces if you return my pig with both eyes undamaged. I can see you are thinking of asking for more, Hano. Let me stop you right there. Why would you think you are worth gold? You are the second best ninja, Hano. You are not the best. Give me one good reason to think that your work is worth gold, Hano. Hano said nothing. That's what I thought. The money I'm offering should provide shelter and food for you for 3 months at least. Take this offer, Hano. You won't get it again. Okay, Hano said. Good. You may leave. Is that yours? He's just a stray, ma'am. But she had already turned her head. As we left the castle and entered the forest, I saw Hano's body relax. I was happy to feel grass under my paws rather than stone. The wind rustled the leaves, and the treetops let only the greenest hints of sunlight through. As we entered deeper into the forest, the trees grew dense and dark. What was left of the path shrank. We had walked for an hour before we spied 2 figures up ahead. 2 boys, about Hano's age, were walking slowly toward us. They were holding hands, and their heads were darting left and right, as if trying to keep every tree in sight. They walked in the centre of the path, as far from the tree line as possible. One of the boys wore red trousers and a brown leather waistcoat. The other wore black trousers and a stained white shirt. So focused were they on the forest that they hadn't seen us. Hano called out, "Friends, who are you and what are you doing in the forest?" They both jumped and stared right at us, noticing us suddenly. The red-trousered boy recovered himself soonest. "I am Prince Renain Lao. This is my friend Michael." He gestured to the other boy, who clutched the prince's sleeve. "Now, I will have your name, stranger, and your purpose in this forest." By this point, Hano and I were close enough to see the 2 of them clearly. Prince Renain Lao held his head high and looked Hano in the eye. He had a sharp nose and bright look. The prince stood tall in front of Michael. Michael leaned from behind the prince's shoulder. He had black hair, round blue eyes, and pale skin. I wonder how long it had been since the last time they had eaten. "I am Hano. I came into this forest on a rescue mission. I am looking for a knight who was last seen entering this forest. He wears yellow armour and a black helmet. Have you seen him?" The prince replied, "As a matter of fact, Hano, we have seen such a knight, and we will tell you where. However, first we want you to answer our questions." "If I can help, I will," Hano said. "Which way is the castle?" The prince's voice cracked a little. "It's an hour's walk back that way." Hano pointed in the direction we'd just come. "Oh, thank the gods!" cried Michael. The prince's shoulders slackened as he gasped. Hano reached into a pouch from his waist and produced a slab of rich, dry cake. He broke the golden-brown crust into 2 and slowly walked forward. "You 2 must be famished," he spoke. As soon as he had taken out the food, the 2 stared at nothing else. They grabbed it from him and devoured their portions. "Thank you, Hano. Truly," the prince said with his mouth full. "Michael saw the knight you're looking for." By this time, Michael had swallowed. "Yes, I saw him enter a cave. Maybe—" He turned all the way around. "Maybe an hour's walk that way?" Hano smiled. "Thank you." He strode onward. I had to scamper to keep up with him. Wait, Hano, we should warn you. There is a young fairy girl in these woods. Don't trust her. She can fly, and she tricked us and left us trapped up a tree. Did the prince blush as he said this? Hano paused. I'll keep an eye out for her. I could see he was trying not to sound incredulous. Everyone knew fairies couldn't fly.